everybody, this is Gwenno Dafydd from the alternative BBC, that's the bathroom broadcasting coach, and here I am in my bathroom broadcasting once again. Now yesterday we looked at loneliness. Today on April the 8th we are going to be having session 17 and we're going to be looking at perfectionism and being enough. Now, yesterday's subject was about loneliness, and it is quite an epidemic in this country, so much so that we've even got a minister for loneliness. I found a really good website, which is called marmaladetrust.org, which gives you some really good tips on how to overcome this. But it does boil down to you have to make the first approach. And one of my mantras is, if it's to be, it's up to me. Now, I looked at psychology today to see what perfectionism actually is. And they say it's a trait that makes life an endless report card on accomplishments or looks. A fast and enduring track to unhappiness, it is often accompanied by depression and eating disorders. So it's not a very healthy thing to be doing then. Lockdown's going to have an effect on lots of us, especially gym bunnies and running roosters. You know the sort of type. They're always on a mission. They can't stop to have a conversation with you because they're in the middle of a run. Well, that's me. And today I had the joy of going out for my first run since Christmas. It was slow, very slow, but I was delighted because I've got 2 arthritic hips and it didn't hurt any more than they do anyway. So I just thought I'm going to go for it anyway. So for me, it was good enough. Usually I'd have been hammering it down there in about, I have a specific route that I run from Sophia Gardens to Blackware, and then I run back. And that has been done in the past in about 7 minutes. Well, it was 9 minutes 19 today, and that has to be good enough. So I am actually starting to knock my own perfectionism on the head. I do have a lot of clients who have been afflicted by this sort of behaviour, and they've asked me how can they change their behaviour. Well, I'll talk to you about one group that I had. I worked extensively with a group of pharmacists, and they were all perfectionists. Now, that's understandable if you think about the work that they are doing. They have to deliver 100% every single time they dispense medicine to people. However, this was being played out in all aspects of their lives. Their emails, the way that they were working on their gardens. In fact, everything had to be just so. So what I said to them was, make 2 lists. And in the first one, essential. What is essential for you to get 100% perfectionism in? That's your list, okay? That has to be perfect. What about desirable? What would it be nice to be as good as possible in? And then you put those other things. And for those other things, you just put, you have to do them at 85% of full capacity. So it's very tough to do that if you're used to doing everything at 100%. And as a self-employed person, I usually have to produce the goods 100% every single time, which is exhausting. So it's a challenge for me personally to do things at just 85%. But that's the way to do it. That's the way forward in my belief. If you're interested in finding out more about enoughness, and being good enough, being a good enough mother, a good enough parent, a good enough cook, a good enough friend, whatever, look at Marissa Peer, that's P-E-E-R-S, no, Peer, P-E-E-R, no S, sorry. Check out Marissa Peer's work. She's exceptionally good about looking at this enoughness. I have a friend who I shall call Excuse the Mess, because every single time I went to see her, all she would say would be, excuse the mess. And I never ever noticed that her house was particularly messy, no more messy than mine was. But for her, it had to be just so. Now, I spoke to a friend of mine this morning, and she's in lockdown in London in a flat with 3 children on her own, and the 2 elder boys sorting themselves out with their schoolwork, but the younger one, who's about 4 years of age, needs to be occupied. And she was saying, my friend was saying, what I'm doing is I'm doing keep fit sessions with her, and I'm actually making cakes and making a huge mess, and my kitchen is so messy, it's horrendous. Which brings me back to the things about what are you going to have achieved in this time? Are you going to sit there being miserable? Are you going to make new connections? Are you going to help the community? What are you going to be creating new memories for this time? I know what my memories will be of, being in my bathroom mostly. So I want to talk about tomorrow, and what we're going to look at tomorrow is memories. So my friend is going to be creating fabulous memories for her daughter. She's having plenty of cookies and time with her mummy. So that's what her memory is going to be of this time. So what will yours be? So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.